Hello, everybody. You guys hear me? Can everyone hear me? Just checking to make sure I can be heard. 1 second. My mic may have dropped. 1 second. Making sure everybody can hear me. All right. There we go. How's everybody doing out there? Good, good, good. All right. So I did a little pre-show, but I'm not sure everyone could hear that. That was on the radio. So, all right, sweet. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Varian Grant here, owner, founder of Indie Volt Media. Sorry, I'm 12 minutes late, trying to add some audio difficulties, but we got everything together. So I know you're wondering what the heck. Let me read this caption for you though. The opinions expressed in the following broadcast are not necessarily those of IndieVolt Media LLC, its staff, contributors, or sponsors. Viewer discretion is advised. And this is very important because it's apparently a bumper that people do not read. And we're going to keep this up there for a majority of the show because people don't read it. I don't understand why they don't read that. They don't, or they do read and they don't know what it means. But I want to say happy. Oh, thank you for coming in, Phil. Joy says, why haven't you seen a doctor yet? And yeah, Joey, I need to go to the doctor, but I do have appointment scheduled. Marv says, "Hi V, glad to hear you." Thanks, Marv. So yeah, I'm doing this special presentation because it's important. It's important to do it. Got a little bit of I guess they call it housekeeping. I think that's what the kids are calling today on the internet to do. There's a couple of things I want to address that's happened with IndieVolt Media, which is the actual name of the company, IndieVolt Media LLC. I want to address that, and I want to address some issues that were brought to my attention yesterday by a member of the CBC. And I wish that stood for comic book community, but in this case, it stands for Crab Bucket College. Okay. Um, so we'll get into that as well. But I want to let everybody know 3 years ago, I started IndieVolt. And I've had to make some tough decisions myself based on the actions of a few yesterday. But 3 years ago, almost four, I started IndieVolt. I bought the domain for IndieVolt, and I started it because I had no idea about other sites doing the exact same thing. No idea. And these sites were doing really good work, um, but I had no idea who they were. I guess I was living in a bit of a bubble. So the idea for IndieVolt was really just to showcase independent talent, because some of the sites that I was aware of that said they did independent comics, they stopped at Image and Dynamite. They really didn't cover anybody outside of, unless somebody had a cousin or a good friend that worked at the company. They didn't really cover those different publishers. So I wanted to help, and I thought, well, if I can create a company and a website that will take the same type of quality, well written articles, in depth reviews, um, we could maybe use that to, just propel some of these projects forward, because I know people in this industry who are very talented, who deserve to have more eyes on their projects. It's just true. So I just wanted to do that. I wanted to help people. Um, and so I bought indievolt.com. Now, we ran articles and we run articles on indievolt.com, not just on comics, but what I like to call industry interest stories. So there was a situation a couple years ago when we first launched the site that the crew from some of the crew from SourcePoint had got a hotel room that was like just yuck. It was horrible. I believe there was roaches. One of the graphics that we had was a roach. It was a Motel 6, I believe, but the hotel room was filthy. And we actually called, like, can we get quote from you guys? Like, why are your rooms like that? Because we wanted people to know in the industry who travel to Comic Cons, hey, these hotel rooms are crappy. Don't stop here until they can get this under control. But we ran that story. That's an industry interest piece. One thing we tried to stay away from was internet drama. He say, she say, internet drama. Unless I could find a clear cut, just the proof, the MacGuffin of it all. I did not run the story. And two, I felt like this. There was so much negativity being said already. Why do we want to add to that? Let's just keep pushing the comics. Let's keep pushing the books. What I said we were here for when we started. Now, that's not to say on our live shows things don't go a little off the rails, because what you have is you have a show with up to 10 different uniquely different personalities, and it's live. You never know what anyone is going to say, ever. And unfortunately, there's very little time for me to edit or mute someone from saying what they're going to say. By the time they said it, it's already out there on the internet. It's gone. You've already heard it by now. So I can't do that. And but I guess I'm expected to. We again, Indie Vote was started. It was created to bring more attention to indie entertainment with a special interest in comics. We cover indie wrestling, we cover indie films, we cover independent video games. We cover a lot of stuff on the website, and I wish we would translate more into the weekly shows, but it doesn't. But, our special interest and our focus was always comics, because that's the industry that I'm in as an artist and a creator and publisher. But again, we tried to avoid the negative stuff unless it indirectly or directly affected us. We did have a situation, okay, where a gentleman was shipping out his comics in a subpar fashion. And we jumped all over that because the person had been on our show. Now, they had went behind my back and talked about my show. They went back behind my back and talked about Indie Vote, and people came to me and said, hey, here's what he said. And I did not go after him about that until after he had started screwing over customers and making this industry look bad. That's when I went after him. And if anybody says anything else other than that, they're lying to you, because I never went after him until people started receiving banged up comics in the mail. That's when we went after him. And, it really didn't fix much. But what happened to Indie Vote is two of what I call the Indie Vote family members stood up and said, this cannot stand. This is not going to happen. To anyone who got a shitty version of that comic, meaning it was damaged because of the subpar shipping, they would send you a copy of their book for free. We're talking I mean, that was big. That was huge. Both people. So you're going to get two comics for one that came damaged. Just because these two individuals, and I can name them, Michael Oden and Rob Anderson, were concerned about how this made the industry look. So they wanted to make sure that you got a free comic, because somebody who's using this industry and taking advantage of this industry didn't care. They got your money. They do it in a manila envelope and sent it out, and they wanted to send you a book that was packed in quality free. You didn't have to pay shipping. You didn't have to pay for packaging. They said, we're going to send it to you on our dime, and I really appreciate that. And I was happy that those guys did that at the Indie Vote. So we try to take care of the industry. I want to say this too, because this is important. And before I get into the meat of what this this rant is all about, Indie Vote is a costly thing. It's a costly endeavor. I'm not tossing the dollar amount out there, but just know that it's a couple hundred a month to run the Indie Vote network. And by that, I mean the website, the radio station, and the television station. And never once have we taken a dime from anyone to run their story, to run anything. We've never taken a dime from anybody to run these things. We don't. I know people right now who will say, "Yeah, to come on my podcast is $30, $40." We've never done that. I don't feel it's right. We never pay anybody to come on the podcast either. You know. So that those things are important. That, I want everybody to know that we're not playing comic book advocate here. No one's playing comic book advocate. This cost. If I am this expensive, a very expensive make believe session. Okay, did that because it's costly. You understand what I'm saying? So I noticed yesterday I had a situation where now a lot of people don't know this either. I'm very sick right now. I'm not on camera because I'm sick. Hit me up in my inbox if you want to see pictures of what's going on with me. But I can't move very much. So right now I have my wife's laptop sitting near me on the sofa, and that's how I'm delivering this address. So I can't move. The last time I was on camera for the show was Tuesday, and if you look at that show, I heard from several people that I did not look well. I'm actually wheelchair bound in that particular episode of Indie Vote, Leo's Indie Vote Live. For the rest of the shows, I was not on camera, and I have not been on camera since because it's just I'm pretty rough right now. I'm not I'm not camera ready. So even though my spirits are up currently, you're catching me at a good moment because this morning they were not up. But I want to do this because I felt this is important. So let me bring everything to where we're at currently. I received notification from a member of the. I'll say this, guys. I talked about the Crab Bucket College. The thing about the crabs is that they have no loyalty to each other either. They have no loyalty. They don't. They can stab you in the back and push you off the cliff. They will. Okay, if they can pull you back down that bucket and stick their little snappers up and get picked up by the who's ever going to go take them to the slaughter, they will. They'll happily do it. They'll happily pull you back down to do it. And someone came to me in confidence and said, "Listen, here's what's going on." And I thought about this, and I said, "Well, we've done so much good. We've helped people get their books funded. We brought attention to people's books. We brought people. We kind of. I'm not trying to make us seem bigger than we are, but I mean, on our Indie Vote Radio, we're getting like 70 to 80,000 listeners globally. That's huge. Those are huge numbers. People are tuning in on the radio, and people tell me when they come on the show, "Hey, I got an influx of people from out of the country, and they're not bots. They're like, because I'll be honest with you, I've ignored a lot of friend requests because I see them and I'm like, I don't know who that is. I don't know this person. They're in some country. That's guy. And then when I started going through the profile, I realized it's a real person, and they've got like Superman and Batman pictures on their Facebook, and I'm this is I know where they found me at. So we do a lot of good work. And recently, a situation happened, and it was brought to my attention yesterday. And I remember a person came to me in confidence and says, "Hey, listen, there's a person, an individual, who's putting out a comic, who's going around bad mouthing your network. After all the good you've done, they're bad mouthing your network." And I asked why, and they said, "Well, they said that it's horrible, and that you're leaning with you're a part of a hate group, or you're condoning a hate group." And I thought, oh, okay, well, let me look into that. Again, I'm sick. Okay, I'm very sick, and I'll go into that later if you guys want to talk about it. But they said to me, That's all I want to say on it. If I just want you to know, I don't want you to get caught blindsided because they knew I was sick. And a couple things happened. Some people reached out to me and told me they were uncomfortable all of a sudden with all the good things that we had done. And some people chose to lie and act like there wasn't an issue. And that's fine. I see how you are, and you will not. It will. I mean, I'm sick right now. I'm down. This will not be forgotten. It will not be forgotten. I can promise you that. Um, I couldn't walk at my son's birthday party. I was in a wheelchair, and people like, oh, kick him while he's down. Maybe that's what it is. Kick him while he's down. We'll kick him. Get a couple of good snacks in on him. This company has done so much good that I can't believe people would come out and try to destroy it. And I start trying to figure it out, guys. I tried to figure it out all night. Why would someone want to destroy IndieVault when it's done so much good? And it was brought to my attention last night when I called a group of people together, and they said, Varian, it's not about what IndieVault, it's not about how it's ran. It's about who runs it. And I didn't catch that at first. It took me about a good 3 minutes. I'm slow to pick up on what they said. It's about who runs IndieVault. There are people who don't want me to run this company. How dare I come in here, start a website, a TV channel, and a radio station? How dare I? Who the fuck do I think I am? Well, guys, I'm just trying to help. Because I tell you right now, go look on that YouTube station. Go look on that television station. Go look on that radio. Go listen to that radio. And how many times do you hear me pushing my own content, my own stuff? People don't even know I can draw. That's how much time I use pushing others. People don't even realize I own a publishing company. That's how much time I use promoting others. 10 grand a month. Not a month. About 10 grand a year, guys, is what I spend promoting others through IndieVault, through the IndieVault network. About 10 grand a year. And you want to come in here and tell me how I'm supposed to do things. Had someone tell me yesterday that they were upset because I allowed someone to put up a sign. I allowed someone to put up a sign on the show that said they were an ally of a comic book group of the Comicsgate movement. They said they were an ally. Okay, I understand. I understand people's anger toward that, but I want to say this to those people: where was your outrage? Where was your outrage when a person was on our show and said that they don't draw black people in their comics because they don't like black people? Where was your outrage? How come I didn't get one message? I didn't get one message the next day. Where was your outrage then? Where was your outrage when that same person said, it's a good thing I don't have access to weapons because if I went to a con, I'd clear it out? Where was your outrage when that was said? It was not there. It was not there. You weren't on the show. No, I wasn't on the show. It's the same situations. So where was all this outrage when people were upset about they're upset about someone holding up a sign? A grown man, 989 miles from my home. Because if we're gonna do guilt by association, if I start looking through your family history photos, what am I gonna find? What am I gonna find if we're doing guilt by association? Am I gonna find a couple people in your family that you wish you didn't know? about? Guilt by, because we're doing guilt by association, right? That's what we're doing. Indie Vote has been about at any point has always been about let's promote the comic. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care. I don't care what group, is on. If you come into the group and you say, hey, I hate this person and that person because of their color of their skin, you're out. We're not going to promote that. But if you come in the group and you don't say anything, you could be the worst person ever. I won't know it. I won't know it because I don't care. And when it's brought to my attention, if you go out there and that person goes in and they do something egregious, then I'll remove the article. I'll remove anything. I'll try my best to remove any content featuring that person from the site. From YouTube videos, it's kind of hard, especially since we picked up sponsors. It's very difficult to do that because now there's all type of paperwork that has to be signed, all type of legal red tape I have to jump through. But you can, if you've been following indievote.com, you will notice there were 2 articles with an individual who has since found themselves in a shitty situation of their own creation, and their articles were yanked from indievote.com, and that's all I'll say. But I'm not gonna have it. I'm not gonna be bullied by these people. You will see that these people. By the way, I do want to say this too. We run this card that says the opinion expressed in the following broadcast are not necessarily those of IndieVote Media LLC, as staff, contributors, or advisors. Viewer discretion is advised. So if I open the chat up right now and say, "Hey guys, come in and let's talk about this," if I do that right now, this sign to logical, well-balanced individuals tells you, "Hey, you know what? There might be some stuff said that I'm not going to be able to place on the company." Because everyone has their own opinions. This hive mind, this lemming group think needs to stop. Oh, they had someone on the show that said they don't like ice cream. I don't want to. I'm not gonna like them anymore. Hell, where was this rage? No, I won't say that. I won't say that. I will say this though. A group of individuals said something about a sponsor on the show that I got a little hot water over, and neither one of them ever heard about it. Neither one of them ever heard about it. I didn't complain to them. I just said, okay. I took the heat and I dealt with it. Randy knows about it. So I will not be bullied by these individuals. I'm going to keep IndieVote going. Now, here's the thing. IndieVote gave a lot of these individuals a home for a while. They're now homeless. You're now going to find yourself homeless. When you notice the links are slowing up, you're not getting invited. Don't wonder why, because you know exactly why. These people they want to destroy something. You are always welcome to help and be a part of. Always welcome. I've been picked on about who I let on the show. I had a gentleman come on the show weeks ago and says, what did he say? Kill the rich, eat their children. Now, I did get some flack about that. But they were like, you know what they said? You know what people said? Dude, you let that guy on your show? I said, I didn't know he was going to say that. It's a live show. It's not recorded. That's one of the cool things about the show. It's live, and we broadcast it through YouTube and the radio app. We never know what's going to be said. I wish we did. I really wish we did, because if we knew what was going to be said, we could probably have a few less boring interviews. If I knew what was going to be said all the time, I don't. These people come on, they say something, it is way out of the realm of and it's up to me and Randy and whoever else is hosting to try to push the conversation back on the rails. But you got a bunch of creatives in the room. That's going to be difficult to do. I don't know if you guys ever sat in a room with a bunch of crazy ass comic book writers and artists, but the conversations, they're all over the place. So, having said that, there's going to be some differences with Indie Vote moving forward. There's going to be there's already some big updates coming. I mean, there's some stuff coming that I can't even. I'm so excited to tell you guys about, but I can't just yet. And I don't want to do it in this video because I just feel like that would sully the excitement of these announcements that are coming. But I also what I can tell you is that you're going to see a bit more of a streamlining of the process. We are still going to cover comics from every facet of the industry. Okay, I do not care about the politics. I got sent a book about a hero Klansman. I did. I got sent a book about a hero Klansman. If anybody wants the PDF, message me. I'll try to dig it out of my computer when I can. When I'm able to get up, I can't get up right now. I'm stuck. But now here's the thing: will I cover the book on IndieVote.com? Absolutely not. It's a book about a Klansman written by a guy who's a part of one of the actual real life hate groups. I'm not going to cover that. I'm just not going to. But the fact of the matter is, they sent that book over because we look at everything. We promote a lot of stuff. We promote comic books because I'm certain that if I start looking back in everyone's life, I'm going to find 2 or 3 people who hate them and say horrible things about them. Same with me. I've made tons of mistakes in this industry, but if I start going back and asking, well, hey, should I promote this guy on my book, on my station? A lot of people are going to say no, don't do it because 14 years ago he did this, or 20 years ago he said that he didn't like pineapple on his pizza. I want to look through the comments here. Joy Rose says, fuck the haters. Phil Lockler says, because some people just like to watch the world burn. It has nothing to do with you or your actual company. Some people just drive on conflict and drama. Don't need to waste the oxygen on them. They're lost. Indie Vote rocks. Thank you, Phil. I really appreciate it. And I wish that were so, Phil. I wish that it was just a small group of haters, but I know how people are. I've watched people sell people down the river in this industry for future prospects on jobs. And then when the job doesn't come to fruition, then they get sad. Then they poke their lip out and they want to come and say, I got screwed. I thought that guy was a good guy and he wasn't. And you lure away all your friends and everybody who truly had your back. Dre Reynolds says, think of it this way. And this is what I think of those who want me to stop. Why? Are they jealous of your burdens? I think a few of them might be. Like I said, I was told last night, it's not how the company is ran, it's who runs it. That's the major thing. That's the problem. Oh, he can't run this. What is he doing here with this? Marv says, I want to see some things. I want to say some things before I go. I want to say thank you to you and the Indie Vote team for the support and friendship. I'm from Portugal, and you put me on the show without knowing me. We did do that, Marv, and we do it again. Marv, you're always welcome to come on the show. Always. And we do that show, and we don't hype any of our own projects. Again, you will very rarely see, and I think I did it one time just to be funny. I talked about the Last Call Comics store. Just to be funny, I did that. Just so that I could pad some runtime. We talk about everyone else's projects. We're not faking our advocacy, saying, "Hey, look, we've got 1,000." I want to, bring attention to this person's campaign or this person's web store. And by the way, check mine out. No, we don't do that. Here's this person's. All right, everybody, have a good night. That's what we do. Even if you're not on the show. Jennifer says, I hate people bullying you. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. I'm here if you need. I'm here if you and the team need me. Thanks, Marv. Seth says, cancel culture. Be nice. They're not going to cancel me, but you know, they can try. They can try. Christy Shin in the house. Uh-oh. Christy says, oh shit, I love seeing that shit. And it reminds me of some of the shit when people would dog me and say I fucking fail. Then they see me succeed and they now want to suck my yeah. I mean, Chris, it happens. I think what happens sometimes is people come in, they're like,
The opinions expressed in the following broadcast are not necessarily those of Indie Volt Media LLC, its staff, contributors, or sponsors. Viewer discretion is advised. Subscribe to IndieVolt.com to recharge your fandom and to get an education. Be sure to check out all of the Indie Volt programming on the Nines with hosts like Randy Zimmerman, The Kid, Varian Grant, The Indie Princess, with more hosts and shows to come.
Hello? Okay. I think I'm back. All right. Sorry, guys, for technical difficulties, but something happened. The internet dropped for a second, and now it is back. So hopefully everyone can hear me. Um, so yeah, I'm back. I forgot exactly where I was at, but I'll just start by saying it again. We try to help everybody. Lola is a lot more concerned with people than I am. She's pointed out a few times she thought we were being taken advantage of. And I told her, well, let's see how it plays out. And she warned me of one individual, and turns out she was absolutely true. She was absolutely right. And now it's on recording, me telling Lola she was right, so she can clip that audio and save it. And we're gonna make some strides. Anybody who has a question though about um, the position of Indie Vault, okay? We are pro comics. We are pro indie entertainment. Okay? I don't care who you voted for. I don't care who you're going to vote for. Okay? I know a lot of people who won't discuss that. And that's fine. Because it should not be a determining factor if we're going to cover your book on Indie Vote. Now, if you got a troubled checkered history and we learn about it then beforehand, then that's fine. And I'm gonna say, okay, well, this needs to be cleared up, and that needs to maybe we don't need this person on. And we have turned down a lot of people like that. We've turned down a lot of people who haven't funded their kick or haven't fulfilled their Kickstarters or Indiegogo campaigns, and they've asked to come on our show, and we told them no. You've got some some housekeeping to tend to. You got some things that are going on that you need to get cleared up. Yeah, no, Steph, my internet dropped here. I'm on Wi-Fi on my wife's computer, and yeah, it's really bad. So, yeah. Lola asked me, was I muted? She can't hear. No, I wasn't muted. I was actually the internet just dropped on this computer only though, so I had to troubleshoot the modem really quickly. And again, I can't move, guys. So I'll tell you what can move. I can blink. My mouth obviously works. Um, and I can move my arms from the elbow down. Everything else causes extreme amounts of pain and blood, and I have to be really medicated to be able to get my arms to kind of operate like arms. Otherwise, I'm kind of sitting here laying down, and yeah, it's pretty bad. Again, if you're interested in seeing the pictures, shoot me a message. I'll send you the pictures. But yeah, again, we don't have time for hate. We're here to push comics. If I heard Katrina Roth say the other night that she was going to actively be watching who she works with from now on, actively, and I thought, wow, that's a shame. That's a shame, and that seems exhausting. Imagine having to do that to maintain your career. Watch and see what everyone is saying on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Imagine having to do that to keep your career quote unquote intact. Imagine having to wobble throughout, just figuring out, who you can work with. Oh, I can't work with this person because it really boils down to just you can't work with anybody. You just can't. And I'm concerned about that because now they want to do it. This is spreading now. It's already spread to journalism. It has, but now they're like, well, Indie Vote hasn't condemned them. We're not condemning anybody. First of all, I don't have time for the drama. I don't know if anybody knows this, but I'm 38 years old. I don't have time for that much drama in my life. Some drama, okay, all right, it's unavoidable. But that much, having to go online, because guys, listen, you all know, everyone here knows that it's not um It's not like limited to, okay, so can I see if he said anything bad this month? No, it is forever. Since the creation, do we have any videos of this person in kindergarten not using the proper color crayon? Okay, he's canceled. We got the footage of him in kindergarten deciding to, you know, draw Superman saving Lois Lane, and Lois Lane saying, "Oh my God, thank you for saving me, Superman. You're the strongest man alive." And all of a sudden, now that's cancelable. And it's 20 years ago. It's exhausting. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. Now, if something comes to my attention beforehand, and it's a problem, and it's a genuine problem, we'll take care of it. JD Calderon, that's good advice, JD. Work with those that pay you. Yeah. Oh, if you work with, uh, you know, if you, I mean, if you imagine if you work with this person over here, it's going to have career ramifications for you down the line. Well, here's the problem. If I don't work with this person over here, it's going to have financial consequences for me almost immediately. Almost immediately. So I'm not saying go work with someone who's got a horrible, dark uh, background. Oh, well, he's done this and this and he's manipulated women. I understand why you wouldn't want to work with somebody like that. I totally get that. But if you don't want to work with somebody because of a hashtag, either way, because I got a news flash for a lot of people, and I know this is going to be unpopular, but there have been assholes in comics forever. There was assholes in comics in 2008. I gotta know, I was one of them. And there will continue to be assholes in comics forever. Now, does a hashtag make it easier to point them out? Maybe. But that's what we cover here on Indie Vault. We cover comics, we cover indie film, we cover music. We got a radio station. He says, those people that say those things and cut me a check 50K every quarter, then I'll be more than happy to work with whomever they say. Exactly. JD, that's exactly right. Can you cut me a check right now to not work with people? Can you pay me? You can't pay me? Oh, okay. I gotta go to work. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you right now. I watched a documentary called Walmart, The High Cost of Low Price. It was a long ass documentary. In fact, I own the documentary. I bought it. I bought the DVD after watching it on TV. I think it was on a streaming network. Then I seen it in the store for like a couple bucks. Oddly enough, the store wasn't Walmart. I think I've seen it in the store clearance at like Target or something, but I bought it. And I'm well aware of Walmart's slights against humanity. I am. And it's appalling what they've done. However, it's close, it's near me, and it's cheap. And I've gone in Walmart and I bought a few things. More than a few things. I have to go where I can. And I guarantee you, a lot of you would work. A lot of people bitching and moaning would do the work if they knew they were getting paid. Hey, people used to work on the pen names all the time, but you can't tell me Stanley's political affiliation. You can't tell me Jack Kirby's political affiliation. And even if you knew, I wouldn't care. And I got news for you guys. I was, guys, my I was, raised a Baptist. I was raised in a Democrat household, and I don't care about politics. I got friends on both sides. I got Democrat friends, I got Republican friends, I got independent friends. But we don't talk about it. It's so odd. Politics don't even enter our conversation. And when they do, it's kind of like a drone. It's kind of like a groan. Like, oh my God, here we go. You have to stop being worried about being canceled all the time. It has to stop. And we're not going to have it here at Indie Vote. If you're worried about who you're working with, you know what? Soon you won't be working. Soon you won't be working. And it's not like, and also I would tell people this too, do the research. And like I said, that's what I did. I followed the hate. I want to see where it went. And it never was about how the company is ran. It's about who is running it. And they do not expect that I'm running it. They don't expect that it's mine. They don't. And that's the big secret here. That's what they don't want you to know. That's what that individual out there who's spreading all of this doesn't want you to know, that he's secretly upset with. So here's the thing. I know who you are, sir. And now you know I know who you are. I'm going to give you, since you wanted to parade my company out as a company that condones harassing, since you wanted to say that my company is a part of some evil organization that's going to rip up comics and tear people out from up under their their happy homes, and we're just horrible. Even though, we've never did that. We've never done that because this set of people, by the way, who Indie Vote, when we go to Comic-Cons, and there's a lot of Comic-Con interviews, check Indie Vote TV for those. When we go to Comic-Con with our big ass camera and film people, big ass heavy shoulder mounted camera and film interviews and stuff, we've been given, actually, no, I was about to lie. Let me catch myself in that. We were given press passes one time, just once. And they gave me 4 press passes. Any other time, we had to buy day badges or weekend badges or media badges, which cost a little less than the regular day badges, but you have to buy a media badge. We will pay money to go to a Comic-Con to talk to independent creators. We're not looking for a free pass. Hey, do you got my free pass? Can I get into your show? Oh, you don't have a free pass for me? Well, fuck you. I'm not coming. That's not what we do. Can we make it there? Now, I will not. I also will admit that there's been about 7 or 8 times that I've piggybacked where I've said, okay, I'm already doing this convention as my publishing arm. I might as well bring my Indie Vote stuff with me too, and bring someone to help with Indie Vote as well. I've done that as well. I have done that. But if we go as Indie Vote by ourselves, just as the company, we've bought our badges because we don't, hey, listen, we want to support the industry. And that includes comic book or Comic-Con promoters. That includes them putting a little money in their pocket so they can keep putting on shows so that people can keep coming and buying tables and putting new work out there. We're not looking for free pass. I'm shocked sometimes. I see these sites that all of a sudden around con time they pick up the pace. Hey, here's 18 comic reviews. Here. Hey, where's our free pass? We need 20 free passes. And yeah, I walk past them and I look at them out in the lobby or by the will call area, standing around scratching their heads because they've got one pass and 18 people who thought they were going to just tag along. It's the funniest shit. I almost had the company's name that does it, but they don't write anything until it's time for, it's like 3 to 4 local shows, and then all of a sudden they're running ads. They're running reviews and interviews of artists, some of which are months and months and months and years old, just so they can say, "Oh, we're active. Free passes, please." Well, how many do you need? We have a group of 10. and they come in their matching shirts and everything. It's really funny. Rob says Indie Vote is the most diverse network out there. Is that the problem? They don't talk about diversity because they are too busy being diverse. Why does that bother people? I'm telling you right now, it's not. But that's the thing, right? It's not about it is the diversity that's a problem. They don't like the fact that my black ass is running Indie Vote, and that's what it boils down to. They don't like it, and that gentleman who's out there spreading the shit. If you need to come forward and talk to me like a man. You're a man, right? You identify as a man. Come to me like a man and tell me what your issue is, or I'm gonna start dragging out because the people you've been talking to are crab bucketers, and they're looking for their next meal. So they're telling me everything. So you need to step up and say, okay, here's what happened. Here's what I said. Let's have a conversation, and we can have that conversation. Or I'm gonna let everybody know that you, in my opinion, are racist. Because you sat up there and you do not like them, because that's what if you can make the assumption that because we don't condemn someone who comes on the show for their beliefs, then I can condemn you for being a racist for talking about me. Why not jump to these extremes? Why not? Let's all jump to extremes. Pop says this old white hippie has always been welcomed by the owner of Indie Vault, and you will remain welcome. Everyone is welcome to come on this show and talk about their books, talk about their products, be it music, film, their next wrestling event, their next Comic-Con. They're welcome to. We invite it. What we do not invite is people trying to go out and create a narrative afterwards to strum up drama. Oh, I'm gonna create some drama so that I can get a little more buzz out here. You want drama? I can provide it, but you won't like it. I'm the quietest person around until you piss me off. And while I'm quiet, I'm collecting receipts and proof. Seth here says, token trans guy here. I've never felt any issues of pushback from anyone on the show for who I am. Never been an issue. And, Seth, again, I've known you before your transition. And, we talked about that. We talked about that on the show openly. I believe we were on the air, and we talked about that. And you've always been welcome. We never, and if you ever experience any pushback from anybody on my show, I would want you to come to me and tell me, not go create a whole narrative behind my back. I know you wouldn't do that, Seth. I know you would. Hey, this person was quite rude to me. And I would apologize on the behalf of that person, and I'd move along. We keep it moving. Okay, that person said what? All right, and I'm going to talk to that person too. And I'm going to tell them they owe you an apology or they owe you a conversation. And if it was truly egregious, they want me back. I'm having some trouble clicking links here, guys. Give me 1 second. Pop says, love you, your network, your wife, kids, co-host is always part of the madness. Thank you, Pops. I really do appreciate it. And there are people out there who don't like that, I guess. They don't like the fact that that we actually have diversity. We actually have diversity on our airways. I've been told before, don't have this person on your show. Guys, let me tell you how corrupt the people who are saying the corruption runs. I had an individual contact me and say, can you take the review of my comic, this is old, off of your site? Now, here's the thing. I don't review any comics. I personally do not review any comics on indievote.com because I felt it was an ethical problem doing that. I felt that, hey, I'm a lot of these people's friends. I'm also a comic creator. I own the site. I just don't feel like it's right that I review the comic. So I went out and I found people who are willing to, for no or very little pay, review a comic for me. And when I say little pay, they might as well not get anything because that's how little it is. And but we do pay them. We do pay them for reviewing comics, and they review the books and they write the review up, and we post it. And we just recently switched our review style to a different style to make it a little bit easier for people to determine, if what their marks are. But we did that, and this person contacted me and said, "Could you take the review down because the marks weren't good? The marks weren't good, and I get to approve." I have to approve those comments or these reviews. And I thought that was the weirdest shit. Like, wait a minute, you're actually getting approval on your reviews? That's how deep the BS on the other side is, folks. There's somebody out there right now doing reviews on comics, and you can't trust them because they're telling the people who own the comic, hey, here's a review. Do you approve it? So how do you know if you're getting a friend review or someone else's? I tell everybody who sends me a comic to review, please don't get mad at me if my reviewer doesn't like it. Because these are reviews. Remember, these are opinions anyway. That's what these are. These are just opinions. This is someone's opinion of your work. You could take it or you can leave it. Sometimes it's not accurate. Sometimes people make mistakes. Sometimes people aren't right. I know that I've read a couple reviews in my life on video games that were wrong. When I played the video game, I loved it. Seth says, yeah, I'm not easily offended. I'm open for conversations 100%, and I might even run to people I don't understand where they're coming from either, and I will want to ask questions and have a conversation. That's how we learn. Exactly. But there are people who make opinions and aren't. I cannot stress to you, one of the things that personally frustrates me is when people tell me, oh, I don't follow any of the political BS. I don't follow any of it. And then they make a decision on what they're told by someone else rather than doing the homework and getting the education that Randy always talks about themselves. Go get an education, go with an open mind and listen to every version and make your own opinion. It's real simple to do. Make your own opinion. But don't tell me you don't follow the drama and then just go follow the drama. And I'm going to wrap it up by saying this, guys. I recently had a situation where a person said, I cannot find you guys on Twitter. I've looked you up. I can't find your organization on Twitter. Why not? And I said, I don't know. We're there. Yeah, I pulled us right up. Don't know why you can't find us. And they said, I don't know either. So I looked them up, and guess what? I couldn't find them from the IndieVolt account. Well, I asked them one simple question after that. I said, hey, do you have any block bots or blockchains running? Well, yeah, I have 4 different blockchains running. I believe it was 4. I could be wrong about that. So they have 4 different blockchains. I said, well, there you go. We follow someone you don't like. And they wrote me back about 20 minutes later. They said, I just got rid of all my blockchains. He said, I just realized how much media coverage I might be losing out on because I'm running blockchains. I suggest everyone learn that. You're missing out on opportunities because you're so busy trying to find somebody to hate. You're missing out on opportunities. You want to see some real injustice in the world? We can find it. There's tons of it. Tons. Real injustice. And I'm talking about if you want to even stay in our industry, hell, I can show you a video where I was called the N-word at Comic-Con 5 times by a white guy who wanted to fight me. I can show you that video. Will I still the same outrage? Are you going to show up to the next con he's at and say we demand for his removal? Hell no, you're not. You're going to look at me in my face and tell me, oh man, that's messed up, man. Hey, bro, that's messed up. No, you care about stuff because you want to push an agenda to further yours. Now, there are people, and Rob's right. Rob said I would, and there are people who would. There are people who would. I had to hold one gentleman back when he found out the guy was at the show. I won't say that person's name because they were really heated, and they were ready to drop their pencil and go fight. And I said, no, we're going to let security handle it. We're going to let the con handle it. So we can find real injustice. If you want to find some real injustice, we can find that. I'll help you. But I am not a gatekeeper. IndieVolt is not for gatekeeping. In fact, if we're anti-anything, we're probably anti-gatekeeping. Jason, let's keep pressing forward and don't look back. What you're doing is good here, V. Just like you did me good by taking me to that Comic-Con back in 2016. Yeah, hey, look, Gerard makes a joke about it, but I like people being in this industry. Sometimes I should keep my mouth shut. Sometimes I shouldn't bring people in the industry, but I try because I'm so in love with comics that I think everyone should be in love with comics. And if you tell me you got a passing interest in it, you should come to Comic-Con with us. Yeah, that'd be great. I got your ticket. Don't worry. I'll pay for your ticket. And it just shocks me how much I've done for certain people. And they walk around here and they stab me right in the fucking back. How much I've done, but they can forget it. They can totally forget it. They can forget any further help from me, any further appearances on the network. I know exactly who you are. And I'm going to make you not famous, but I'm going to make sure that you know that I know who you are. Travis says, I seen stuff that I didn't like, but like you say, it's a live show. There's only so much you can do. I can't do anything during a live show. There's only so much. I don't have the tech. Well, I don't have the tech, and I do not have the ability for the last 2 weeks, basically, to do anything about it. I'm right now shooting from the sofa. I'm about to take my medicine because I'm starting to experience some pain here, so I'm going to be taking my medicine and probably falling asleep because it puts me to sleep. But I do want you guys to know that if something happens on IndieVolt, we run that ad. This ad you've been looking at the entire time, or not ad, but this card here. The opinions expressed in the following broadcast are not necessarily those of IndieVolt Media LLC, its staff, contributors, or sponsors. Viewer discretion is advised because we don't mean to offend anybody. And if you're getting offended by that, it might be because offense is in vogue. Stop looking for something to get you offended. Stop looking for what's offensive. If I did that, the way I overthink things, wow. I'd be upset all day. Anyway, Jason says, you do so much good. I'll always be grateful. That's always going to be a handful of those folks, but it's the positive people that you've influenced and helped that count the most. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it. With that, I'm going to close out here. I just want everybody to know that we are not gatekeepers at IndieVolt. We want to talk to you about your comic. We want to talk to you about your movie, about your music, about your wrestling event, about your next Comic-Con you're promoting. We want to talk to you about that independent video game you just made. I want to talk to you about the independent video game console you just developed. We want to talk to you. That's what we're here for. That's what we're going to continue to be here for. Haters be damned. Thank you.